Hello and welcome to another episode of Never a Straight Answer, a podcast that aims to cover a wide range of topics, some serious, some not so serious, from conspiracy theories to popular culture and news. I'm Gaz.
And Taylor.
And welcome to the show. How's it going, Taylor? You've had a good week?
Yeah, not too bad.
I say had a good week. It's been on like about 4 days since we posted our last episode, so it's not been very long at all.
Yeah, that's true.
But I tell you what, in the last 4 days, a shit ton of stuff's happened, and I'm not even joking. I've got news coming out of the Yazoo.
See, I've only got little bits. I've been looking at stuff, but like it's taking more time to look into like satellite images and stuff like that, and trying to find information. It's taking time.
Why? What's been happening that that's been taking up so much of your time?
Oh, about this the Ring of Fire. You know what the Ring of Fire is?
Oh yeah, with the Johnny Cash song.
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's after you've gone for a curry.
Oh yeah, well there's a couple of definitions, but I think you're talking about the California Ring of Fire, the earthquakes.
Yeah, basically going all across the world, but it's been going on for a lot longer than people have been suspecting. It's been going on for at least 2 to 3 years, slowly been growing.
Yeah, I know there has been kind of like a lot of activity on that front.
Yeah.
But pretty recently there's been quite a lot, hasn't there? Was it what was it the other day? I think 48-hour period.
Yeah, there was loads going in a 48-hour period. And that was at the highest I think was 4.5.
Yeah, I think there was 69 earthquakes recorded over that 2 days, man. I think that's pretty crazy, to be honest. So, yeah. I mean, there's been a lot of kind of talk about how that's affecting, is it climate change? Is it basically just...
I don't think it's anything to do with it.
Do you know?
I think...
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I think because I've been watching...
Is it the UFOs?
No. It's more like Planet X.
Oh,
possibly, or it could be to actually do with the sun because the sun's been playing up a hell of a lot lately.
Like solar flares and
things. Stuff like this, and it's. I've been looking at like our magnetic fields. I mean, we've only just found out that actually we've got 2.
Oh right, okay. Well, that's something I never knew.
Yeah.
I just basically based on some of the information I've been looking at on this. It kind of seems a bit weird that it's kind of isolated to that region, though. I mean, if it was something like Planet X, don't you think it'd be like more global?
No, because if you think about it, it's the pressure around that area. I mean, anything's going to have a pressure point where it's weaker, and it seems to be all them lines of volcanoes is the weaker point to push the magma up and start some movement.
Start up some mega shit.
Oh yeah. But it's like different things have been happening. Like the seas have been falling back, and that's unprecedented on itself. But there has been parts in history where, like Napoleon at one point, wrote in one of his diaries that the sea went back for I think it was about 20 days, something like that, and then it come back again.
Yeah, I actually saw something in the news recently about a stretch of beach that had grown exponentially overnight and basically put a 4-foot wall of sand up against the coastline. It was crazy, and the residents were coming out and going, "What the hell has gone on here?" It's like, we've got way more beach than we had yesterday.
Well, yeah, this is it. There's a lot of strange... I mean, look at all the things that have been happening with animals as well.
Yeah,
animals on land
crazy,
and in the sea.
Well, yeah, I mean, there was a mad thing about reindeer. That's another story for another day, though, because I think there's quite a lot to go into with that. I don't want to be giving you bogus information again or ever, But yeah, I mean, looking at, I think there was a geologist who came out about this, and he was saying he was pretty concerned, but not so much to do with the earthquakes as such, but more to do with if it was to kind of cause a domino effect.
I think that domino effect's already started. It already started around about 2 years ago.
Right. Well, I mean, there's been quite a lot of activity in Yellowstone and stuff like that, and I think that's what kind of most people are not kicking off, but a bit kind of concerned about the fact that if this domino effect happens, is it going to bring on a disaster of unprecedented magnitude.
Well,
I suppose.
the way I see it is the planet is its own thing, and we're frightened of destroying the planet. The planet's going to be here a lot longer than we are.
Yeah, I
and
think...
it's moving all the time. I mean, we used to have Pangea as the world
and obviously the land and the continental drift.
Yeah, and look what's happening in Africa and that with the split.
I totally agree with you. I mean, we're quite naive to think that we're going to live in this peaceful bubble of existence for thousands of years and nothing changed. So yeah, you're totally right.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not into. I don't believe the climate change whack job that they're all talking about. I believe we've a touch of it. Yes, we have affected it. Less than 1%, I'd say. But the rest of it is they're not counting the stuff that's outside in the universe. We don't even know what's right next to us, and there's things turning up all the time.
That's one thing I always say about we're too concerned about what's going on in the sky and don't even know what's going on in our backyard. The sea's so undiscovered.
Well, look what happened. What secure team had shown this week. And the footprints.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Was it footprints underwater, about 2 miles down?
Yeah,
it was like thousands of them.
Yeah, and it's like, what's going on?
There's no actual animals that can do that. Even.
No, I can't. Well, yeah, unless it's a place where obviously some kind of communication that the animals can do something together.
Yeah, I doubt that. Well, they were saying the marine life down there at the moment, it's not even weighty enough to leave that impression. What's down there. Well, exactly. I mean, going on the...
It's Nessie, that's where it's been walking.
Yeah, she's got off from Loch Ness and she's having a ramble.
Yeah,
so, you were talking about Secure Team a second ago. Did you happen to catch that news about Street Cat 1?
Yeah, that's a shame, man. That's totally a shame. R.I.P, man.
Yeah, well, if you don't know about this, Street Cat 1's basically a YouTuber, a ufologist, and he's basically the news has come out over the last couple of days that he's passed away. Thoughts go to the family and stuff.
Please have a look at his sites, man, because his sites are still on.
Got some great videos about stuff like the moon and...
Yeah, he did a lot on the moon.
Yeah, and the Scottish investigator was suffering from ill health for the past couple of months, and it's just come to light that he actually passed away in, was it late June or early June? Yeah. So, so condolences to the family there, and you will be missed, and there's a lot of people out there who already miss you, so good on you, man. Yeah. And
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Did you hear this one? Sorry, this is jumping straight from the not depressing. Do apologise, but from the somber to the stupid, if you like. Right. Well, again, I like my stupid stories.
You do.
This is a story about a man who shot his son over a bucket of KFC.
Bucket of KFC.
Well, I'm assuming it was KFC. I'm assuming it was KFC. It was supposed to be delicious chicken.
Oh my God.
Well, John Lewis Carver. Yeah, he's got a great name as well because he's got Carvery in his name. So he's like, he was definitely after the meats. So John Lewis Carver has been convicted. He's been convicted and jailed for first-degree domestic violence by a jury in Dallas County Court. The attack actually happened a couple of years ago, but it's just gone to trial. Whilst the family was watching NFL football, they started arguing about who got the big piece of chicken. And then
that's some stupid stuff. That's just ridiculous.
Right, well, we've not even got to the best bit. I mean, every family argues over who's getting the big piece of chicken, but this went a bit too far.
If you want the big piece of chicken, have the big piece of chicken out. You fucking choke on it.
Well, yeah, there you go.
You can have it if you want.
After it turned into a full-blown domestic, shall we say, the mother tried to get involved, and the mother/wife got involved and tried to split them up. But Carver, 77, ended up shooting his son in the chest.
Oh,
yeah,
fucking hell.
Well, I'm not even sure.
I'm
not even sure if he survived. I couldn't find out. I couldn't find out the son's name. I think he wanted to be kept out of it. It's a bit of a stupid disagreement anyway, and he's the victim. I think he wanted to stay out of it. But Carver will spend the next 20 years in jail. And
well, if he would have killed him, I would have reckoned he would have either got the death sentence or he would have been 30 more.
I mean,
I think he might be still on the line.
Just based on what he was charged with. What was he charged with? A domestic violence.
Yes.
But first degree domestic violence. So I mean, it's
Could still change.
Yeah, well,
Could still change.
well, no. Apparently, if it happened a couple of years ago, I'm assuming
Well, yeah,
that the guy's made a full recovery since then.
Yeah.
It's only speculation, but you can.
Well,
you
yeah.
can only
Well, that's it.
speculate
Well,
in these.
you've tried finding some info, and they're not letting it out.
Like I say,
They're not letting it out.
I could find out the defendant's name, but that's about it. So is there anything else happening in the world of the weird or the world of the UFO?
Well, the French dropped a lot of files.
All right, go on.
Yeah. And I've had a little peek.
This is the
2008.
Yeah. Do you know what? Right, I actually had a look. I can't even pronounce it. The Gillespie files or something like that.
Yeah.
Apologies if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, what was it? They just dumped the entire.
The entire lot. Well, you know what? I don't actually believe it's the entire lot for one, and I don't believe that it's all correct either. Because disinformation,
obviously,
there's a big thing with disinformation. I mean, you'll find a lot of stuff that, like, at least 80 to 90% of the stuff is disinformation, and it's trying to sway you.
Well, this is it as well, and you've got to suspect that if it's the government that's actually releasing this information, is it going to be kind of trying to throw you off the scent slightly to try and get you thinking about something else?
Yeah, but the thing on that is everyone jumps to say about the government doing it. Now the thing is, this is where there's a big miscommunication, where it's not actually the government. The government investigate, but the government aren't in charge of finding out the info, because they've already done deals with, let's say, America. Let's say our government, right? We've got the FBI files. We had Nick Pope for years doing it.
Well, we have the MOD, don't we? We have and I assume they have the.
Well, Nick Pope was in charge.
In the
a
States.
guy called Nick Pope who was in charge
CIA.
of it. And basically, he says that the stuff that he's seeing, he can't recognise everything.
You've watched it. You can't unwatch it.
That's true. So basically, most of the information gets dealt to America, but American government don't actually take control of it, because there's a guy called Stephen Greer.
I've seen a few documentaries and interviews with Stephen.
Yeah, he's done some great stuff and great movies as well. He's done some movies.
We'll try and get him on one day. You never know.
Yeah. It'd be great if we could. Fucking hell yeah.
We just look like a couple of bloody idiots. That's
it'd be like, shit, I'm here with a couple of idiots.
So is that so where are we up to with that then? Is it just a case of?
It's just a case. It's old files that. There's not really going to be much in there. I mean, if you have a look at the files, then you have to pick out the bits that you believe is
but that's
true. But then you've got to investigate them little bits. Don't just count on it.
One thing that we always say here on Never a Straight Answer is do your homework. Don't just listen to us. If you find something interesting, we're giving you. I like that.
We're giving you the passports. You go off and travel
to a better knowledge and a better future. Just So I mean, if you hear something that we talk about, don't just take it for read. We might get bits wrong. Probably. And
there will be.
Just go out there and research it yourself. If you find something out that we've not covered or we might have got wrong, make a comment on it, mate. We're happy to know when we're wrong. So in terms of news, that's basically it for the kind of the weird news. Got a lot of entertainment news. Well, this is pretty interesting, and it's kind of weird because it kind of goes again what the internet is like. The internet, they just jump in with things and they don't really do the homework. So basically, in the CW show Green Arrow, they usually have a crossover once a year, and they'll get like the Supergirl,
or Superman,
the Flash, and all that lot. They'll all show up and they'll do like a crossover event. Well, this year, Batwoman's due to make an appearance. Batwoman. Well, she's a fan favourite, but in the comics, she was like a lesbian, basically. No, it's cut. Basically. T-shirts are available. So
all year round.
So she's a lesbian in the comics, and the big outcry beat on Twitter saying that the woman who plays Batwoman should be a lesbian herself, and it comes back down to this thing with the Iron Fist as well, when they were saying that he wasn't an Asian descent, and it was kind of
you're trying to keep it as
well,
real
you just basically keep
as how it
casting
was
white
put.
people in the roles, and that's what people are getting fed up. You're not casting somebody who's more suited to the role. So
Yeah.
Twitter's just gone stupid this week because all the fans have gone on to this actress Ruby Rose and complained that she shouldn't play Batwoman because she's not a lesbian. Now the fact is, she came on Twitter and said she came out when she was 12 years old.
See, I don't really see how it needs to be.
It doesn't matter either way.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Because at the end of the day, she's playing a character.
Yeah, she's playing a character, and she plays
so then
that in a way.
she can't play a character that's straight.
Well,
You know
that's
what I mean?
basically
Or
what they're saying.
transsexual.
Is she saying
Yeah.
she can't play a straight character if she was offered the role? And this
It's
is what she said.
nitpicking.
She said she's basically been turned down for roles in the past because
Yeah.
she's been seen as too gay.
Yeah.
And now she's getting complaints that she's not gay enough.
See,
So, you know,
where's
you
that
can't
boundary?
win,
See,
really, can you?
Yeah, again, is turning people into like individual
It's not.
groups.
It's this day and age
You're in
we
that
live
group.
in.
You're in that group. You're in that group.
Everything's
no,
way
everyone's
too
supposed
PC.
to is individual themselves. They can
Yeah.
do whatever and do whatever they fucking want.
Well, I think the world's gone way too PC, and you've got to watch what you say on every.
Even
turn.
in the 90s when that was brought in, it was like, you know what, this is going to be a terrible idea. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, there's no need for half the shit that goes on over just bare nothing. You know what I mean? You're starting shit over bare nothing because you've got nothing else to do. You've got problems with yourself, you've got problems with other people, and you just like need to let steam out or something like that, and then it just gets a bit too carried away.
I just think you hit the nail on the head earlier. You say, it's like she's basically pigeonholed it into one sort of character role, and it's not fair, is it? Bit of more entertainment news. Basically, it's all film and TV news this week.
Yeah.
So, there's been a big Fox Disney merger.
No.
Well, get
Jesus.
this. Yeah. Disney are monopolising this. They're getting their hands on every single franchise out there.
They're going to get away with this.
Yeah, they've got Marvel, they've got Star Wars, they've got the whole kit and caboodle.
We've got my shit coming out.
Now, Fox has just put up for sale a lot of intellectual property.
Yeah.
So all their existing shows, like your Family Guys, your Simpsons.
Yeah.
But what it means is, and I think everyone's been too focused on this because everyone's been jumping on the bandwagon that Fox own the X-Men in this world. Right. And not only do they own the X-Men, they own a lot of other characters that Marvel would love to get their hands on. Fantastic Four being another hot property.
Yeah.
And if they could implement them into that world, with the MCU, they could open up a load more stories.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's cool. Right, so, but with Fox basically putting this information, all this IP up for sale, there was a couple of parties interested, but Disney have ended up putting in the highest bid anyway. And everyone's kind of going, oh, mate, it's going to be crazy because the X-Men and Fantastic Four are going to end up being in the Avengers and all this. But
it's going to mess up big time, that's what
everyone's just failing to see all the other glaring, obvious things. Well, it's turned out that while they were doing the merger, they found a load of film properties that they had in development. Right?
Oh, right.
So they've got a Simpsons sequel for the next Simpsons movie.
Yeah, I've heard
that's kind of part finished, right? And they ended up taking half of the storyline and rehashing it into an episode from last year. So it's like, honestly, they've got this film ready-made, and then they ended up scrapping it to use the idea as an episode. It's stupid. So yeah, there's a lot of other stuff. I mean, Fox also responsible for Family Guy and Bob's Burgers. So are they going to be Disney characters now? Are they going to be seen strolling around Disneyland?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. They're going to have fairies on the shoulders.
Would not surprise me if they had a bit of a Simpsons land over at Disneyland now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's a hot property, isn't it?
Yeah. Another hot property, this is the last of my entertainment news, is a new show that's just come out.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm always one for a new show, and this one looks pretty good. It's called Castle Rock, and it's just launched. It's got an 8.5 on the IMDb and 85 on Rotten Tomatoes, and basically, it's set in a Stephen King multiverse. Right?
Right.
So if you're into your Stephen King novels or
horrors.
you're into your Stephen King horrors, this is right up your street. It's a psychological horror series that takes place in Castle Rock, Maine, and it explores themes from Stephen King's canon, which basically means it's going to be using settings and characters and stuff from the novels. And it's if you're a Stephen King fan, like I say, it's
you should enjoy this.
You're going to enjoy this. Yeah. So places it includes are the infamous Shawshank Prison. Oh. And it's rumoured to have Cujo making an appearance in later on in the season.
Oh, really?
But they're keeping that quite hush at the moment.
But you just lay out the bag.
Well, no. This is just a rumour that I've heard. Don't take anything I say for 100%.
Yeah, check it out yourself.
But Stephen King actually tweeted, and he said, "Look past the Easter eggs because." It's an actually really good show, and it's a proper psychological horror, you know.
Right.
A classic. It's not just Stephen King, you know. Yeah. It's something in itself, and he's rating the guys who have put it out.
So is he bringing himself a whole?
He's not wrote it.
He's wrote nothing.
No. It's just set in the world that he created. Yeah. But there's been a team of writers. I think one of which was Mark Bernardin, who's a co-host on Fat Man on Batman.
Right.
And he's wrote one of the episodes. I think it was episode 6.
Right.
So I think that one was the last one that's just been dropped. So there's 6 episodes available. I think it's on Amazon. So go and check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's it for that's it for our entertainment news. Wow, I feel like we're speeding through it today.
I know.
Yeah, what's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah,
So actually, no, I do tell a lie. There is one last piece of entertainment news.
Oh.
And it does link into my main topic quite well.
Okay.
So, have you seen
Seen a lot.
The trailers for the new Slenderman film?
No.
Well, it's just been released at the cinema.
Oh, right.
And
it's
out.
It's out now.
It's out right now in the cinema. It's a movie by Sony, and it was directed by Slavine White, and it's set in a small town in Massachusetts where a group of friends fascinated with the internet lore of the Slenderman set out to prove he doesn't even exist.
And does he?
Well, this is what tonight's topic's about, isn't it? Does the Slenderman exist? Does he or does he not? What do you reckon?
Mate, well, I don't know. You have to tell me a little bit more information.
I've got to admit, right, when I started looking into this, I thought, this is quite creepy.
Yeah.
The Slenderman is quite creepy, and if you don't know, I'll give you a couple of examples of what to expect from the Slenderman if you were to bump into him usually hangs around in the forest.
Oh, so no hanging around in the forest at night?
Damn, that loses my hobby. Any time of the day.
That loses my hobby.
Slenderman could be around anywhere, right? So basically, the Slenderman, he's a tall, slender man. He has no face.
No face.
With tendrils.
What? Tendrils where?
Yeah, coming out of his arms and his back, right?
All right.
And the legend began around 2008. And what happened was I'll give you a bit more of the background, right?
Yeah.
So the origins in terms of the myth, they seem to be quite sketchy, and there's a lot of different origins where it comes down to it. But what the main origin is that, I'll give you a couple of examples of where this has come up, because there's a lot of world stories and world legends and myths that tie into this quite well.
You like something like Mothman?
Yeah, exactly. Mothman, yeah, so a German myth of a gentleman who would take children into the woods and then get them to confess their sins.
Yeah.
Right. That was.
It's a priest, isn't it?
Yeah, that sounds like a priest or a scoutmaster.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was another one, which was a German painting that turned up, which basically people started saying that it was it was an image of the Slenderman. There's a Scottish legend of the Slenderman. There's the English legend of the Clutchbone, the Eastern European legend of the Tall Man, the Russian legend of the Tall Slender Man. There's a US legend, and they all basically the same thing. There's also a Caribbean legend and a Japanese legend, so he's even made it all the way across to Asia.
So it's like a Nessie stroke Mothman stroke I don't know, Bigfoot.
Yeah,
kind of fella.
basically, he's a modern day Bigfoot. Have you seen the Slenderman? The Slenderman, he typically dresses in a black suit,
Right,
with
okay.
a white shirt,
Sure,
no
it ain't
face.
a man in black.
It could be a man in black,
Yeah,
you
you
know,
never
but
know.
could be a disbanded man in black who's been told
Yeah,
he's
gone rogue. Yeah.
and he just flashy things people in the face if he sees them. Yeah, he's like done.
So has anyone like died from this story, or is there any pictures or anything, any kind of evidence of this so-called Slenderman?
In terms of evidence, there's a lot on the net, right? Not all, in fact, all of it's not real. But the thing is, it's such this. I'm going to tell you a story about when you say has anybody died from it.
Yeah.
Right. In 2014, there was a case of a young girl. She was 12 years old and she was stabbed 19 times by her two best friends. Wow. One was called Morgan Geyser and Elise Wheeler. There's a documentary on HBO which is really worth a watch because one of the friends became obsessed with the Slenderman and went to prove to her other friends that the man existed, and the only way they could do this was by murdering this young girl. There's been loads of different kind of things that have kind of mysteries and disappearances that basically people kind of have attributed to this. But when you hear where it all comes from, you'll realise that obviously it isn't true. Right.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, does this have any connection with the 411?
Well, we were talking about the 411 last week, and that was kind of missing persons in Yellowstone Park, not Yellowstone, in national parks in Canada and US.
Yeah.
I'm not too sure, to be honest. I mean, again, this is where somebody would go missing, and when there was no explanation, they try and come up with a reason or an explanation to why this has happened. So,
has anyone disappeared in a weird way? Not like the girl took her two best mates, went and killed her.
Well, there's been a lot of people that do crazy things and then they attribute it to it. So part of the legend is that if the Slenderman picks you to be his victim, he'll stalk you and drive you crazy to a point where reality isn't reality for you, and you'll go and commit a crime. And that's when this idea of the Slenderman comes into play, because you're passing the buck, you're claiming insanity, you're saying you had a moment of madness and it wasn't me, it was that guy.
So it's an excuse.
It's an excuse. Yeah. And like I say, when I tell you how it all came about, you'll realise why. Right. So again, the myths and the legends, they say he's no face, he's slender, has long figure and tendrils. Like I say, these myths and stories go from all around the world. There's even been a linked case from 9000 BC of a cave painting, and that's been linked to this story, saying he was one of the original pictures of the Slenderman. So you can see this is the craziness of the internet, right? The craziness, right? So, so there's also been loads of, I mean, considering this figure's supposed to stalk kids, right? He's turned up in some random places,
Was he an Egyptian as well?
Right. Check all these places. So basically, there's been a lot of web series. There's been a lot of different stories. There's been a lot of fan fiction, if you like, all over the internet.
There's a film. So
there's a film now, like you
said.
He
went set up from 2008, and he went, you know
I'm
what?
wondering. Oh well, we'll get to this in a minute. But like, there's been examples in kids shows and kids movies where the Slenderman's actually turned up in animated series, and I've got 5 of them here. This is the top 5 times the Slenderman has cropped up in the background of a children's television show or movie. Number 1 appears twice in Frozen.
Never seen it.
I've never seen the film Frozen.
Interested, mate.
I've not got kids, so you know it doesn't. I think my little brother's seen it about 5 million times because of my niece. But you know, The Amazing World of Gumball, My Little Pony, the
My
animated series,
No, no.
SpongeBob SquarePants, and A Fairly Odd Parent. So those are like Cartoon Network shows mainly.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Where the Slenderman's turned up in the background, or allegedly turned up in the background.
Someone wants to bring it. Someone's helping the Chinese Whisper go round.
Mate, this is again the power of the internet is made this Chinese Whisper go around. And I'm gonna get to it now. Basically, like, a couple of the other attributes. He can teleport. He's got invisibility.
So it could be here.
He could be here right now. Stalking. So
Stalking.
Stalking. And he'll drive you crazy if he chooses you to stalk.
Yeah, but how's it going to drive? What does he do? Drug you?
Well, no one knows. The victims would just disappear and nobody would ever be found.
Some kind of smell or something that...
What do you mean? Is there anything that would indicate whether the Slenderman was in the vicinity?
Yeah, there's got to be some kind of evidence, or it's just like I said, it's Chinese Whispers. It's Chinese Whispers. Someone's probably gone like, bam, you know what? We could make a movie by setting this story up, or let's say, I remember actually in, I think it was the early 2000s, where people were talking about doing stuff like that. Which is like saying like, what if we make up like some story and just throw it out there? Let's see how far it goes.
Yeah.
I remember quite a lot of people.
I'd love to do that. I've said many times that I'd love to set up not a conspiracy, but like
just some little niche
and just to see
throw out to the people and
see
they
if
change
it'd get back to me quick. See how far it'd go till it got back to me. Well,
sounds like one of them to me.
Well, it's right.
And then you made a movie, lucky bastards.
It's a bit of a crazy one, and this week because it's not a case and it's not a story in the sense that we'd usually cover.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a weird internet legend, right?
Yeah.
So all these legends have to have a start somewhere.
Yeah. That's true.
This is no different.
Yeah.
What actually happened was there was a photography competition.
All right.
On a website called somethingawful.com.
Okay.
Right.
And this was what, 2008?
Yeah, 2008. And this is where it all stemmed from. 2 photos were uploaded to this competition.
Right.
With a bit of a backstory.
Yeah.
About what this guy called the Slenderman, right?
Yeah.
The original poster had a screen name of Victor Serge, real name Eric Hudson, or Knudsen. I think it's Knudsen actually. Yeah, and he entered the photo competition with his take of a mythical creature, yeah?
Right.
And that was what the topic of the photo competition was.
Well, so everyone come along, take a photo of something you've made up to make look like
basically he's taken an old style photograph, he's photoshopped a figure into the image, and then submitted that to the photo competition.
Yeah.
Now 2 days later, somebody else uploaded a picture of the Slenderman.
Not the same one, is it? Different picture?
Different picture, their version, their take, with a bit more detail in the backstory.
Okay.
Right? So,
So that's the start.
That was the start of this, right? This was the start of the legend. This was the start of the Slenderman, right? And so, off the back of this, just off one website, I don't think Eric thought this was going to happen, or he thought that this was going to even capture the imaginations of so many people.
Yeah.
But the problem is, it was, a competition, and you can still find the original feeds off the website where the competition, where it started. And it's the power of suggestion and the power of imagination, whereas people have gone out and they've added to it and they've created images and videos and they've posted them online, which all just brings credence to the story, right? But then, because there's a lot of stuff out there that paint it as a real thing, or a kind of a paranormal thing, that
they picked it up as
it's like the boogeyman. Boogeyman's been scaring kids for
John Wick
for decades.
John Wick, mate. It's John Wick, okay.
Keanu Reeves has been scaring kids for decades, and I mean,
film, one answer.
This is how this works. It's like all it takes is the power of suggestion.
Well, yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, but you look at stuff like what you've just told, and then you look at something like the Mothman, which is bang. There's loads of there's a certain amount of evidence on.
Yeah, but I was just about to say that with the Mothman prophecies, there's evidence to suggest that
it's true.
It's true. Whereas this, you can trace back to an original post. You know, the fact that there's a movie out is just beyond me now. Because I mean, but I like the idea behind the movie. They're going out to prove that it's wrong. It's not true. It's what we're saying tonight.
Yeah.
But are they going to be surprised? Are they going to come? I'm assuming.
Are they going to say it at the end?
I'm assuming they're going to bump into him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's
yeah.
inevitable, really,
it's inevitable that they're going to put him in the film, even if it's at the fucking beginning.
So in conclusion to the Slenderman prophecies,
It just proves how information gets thrown out quite easily and misinterpreted information as well, especially.
That just proves how gullible people are, really, doesn't it?
That is too true. That is too true.
I mean, I watched a video. I was watching a bit of YouTube and trying to find a bit more information out about the Slenderman earlier on, and most of the videos were literally painting it as fact, you know, and they were looking at the photos and the photo evidence, and there was one that was going, you know, how clearly faked these photos were, but then there was another one that was, you know, so kind of backing it up that. You know, if you're kind of easily persuaded or easily not manipulated, but you know, kind of, you know.
Well, anyone can. If you give them the information that they're looking for, plus a little evidence on top, then they're going to swing for it and try and find more evidence and look into it even more. But then in another way, that could also stop the bad ideas coming out, because they'll look at it and go, "Oh, actually, he just told me." Bullshit.
It's just reminded me of another story which you kind of linked to this, because the Slenderman when I was doing my research, a lot of countries would relate him to the fairies, like evil pixie fairies type thing. Yeah, and it made me think of another story that was very similar in the terms of the day, and it was pre-internet, so it was actually a few years ago, and it was a story that was featured in Life magazine about a couple of kids who'd found fairies at the bottom of the garden.
Right.
Because it was back then, photographic evidence was infallible. You couldn't get past it. You know, if it was, cameras don't lie. And when these images of the fairies came out, that it shocked a lot of people. Finally, we've got photographic evidence of the existence of fairies. Now, Arthur Conan Doyle actually went to the property and met the young girls.
Is this the one in Ireland?
I think it was, that's correct,
where black and white picture.
Yeah, with the kids with the fairies, and it ended up being cardboard cutouts, right? And they admitted to it, but because back then...
It took a long time, though.
Exactly, it took a long time for it to come out.
They could have made
that's exactly the same as this Slenderman, and that's how I see it relating to the fairies.
Yeah.
But only in the sense that people are willing to believe the fantastic, and
they're putting an idea into your head where you can look at it and go, you know what, is there a possibility? It makes you question yourself over certain things that you get told.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, especially me now, I question most things now.
Yeah, well, you're right
I've
to
been
be
told
honest.
So much rubbish that it was like, right, well, you know what, I'm going to look. I looked, and it actually winds me up.
But this is the point of today's show. It's question everything. Always do your research.
Yeah.
Don't just buy into the first thing you hear.
Yeah.
Especially if we've told it you.
Yeah, well...
Yeah, maybe not all the time. Well, basically, in conclusion to this week's episode of the Slenderman, it all came down to a photography competition. You know, Photoshop edits, and that's it. But
people are suckers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Suckers for a good story.
So that's basically it for this week, I think.
Yeah.
It's been a bit shorter than usual, but I think we blasted through that first bit a bit too quick, to be honest. But with the news
I've got a little news actually, which I reckon been looking around lately, and it's looking like that on the stories of stuff like UFOs, phenomena, ghosts and stuff like that, especially UFOs, you're going to find over the next year that it's going to be more into the mainstream, into papers, into news, into
Why'd you say
stuff
that?
like that. Because I've been, well, like I said, I've been looking at this for like over 20 years, and like from when I started looking into it, it was like, you're a kook, you're a nut job, blah blah. This.
Oh, it's socially acceptable nowadays.
But
isn't
it has been starting to get more socially acceptable. But over the last couple of years, you'll find in the mainstream papers plus news, because a lot of people, even newscasters, are getting caught with stuff flying outside the window while they're talking, and they've been caught on camera and stuff like this. So they need to now explain why, what is that object that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
you're basically saying it's like
question.
more mainstream news outlets are getting the questions put to them, and they don't know how to answer them, do they? They don't really not.
Yeah.
I think that the ghost hunting thing's really interesting to me. I've been trying to get hold of a ghost hunter. Yeah. I want one to come on the show. Shout out any ghost hunters. I've put a shout out on Twitter actually, because I was looking on YouTube today for the top 10 ghost hunting apparatus. Oh mate, most of them are just boxes of LEDs with a double battery in the bottom. But you know what I mean?
People will suffer sometimes.
It's 200-300 quid some of these pieces of kit, mate. I'm not even joking.
One man reaches what.
I wish I was more technically minded, because I could make a fortune if you could just stick a thermometer in a box and call it a temperature gauge.
Well, look at these boxes on the internet where you can buy a box for like 10 grand. You don't know what it is.
Oh, the mystery box.
Yeah, especially from the dark net.
I've been watching a couple of those actually. Yes. It's a bit crazy, isn't it? The dark net mystery boxes. Yeah. To be fair, when I've watched them, I kind of know exactly what's going to be in the box before they open them.
Yeah, it's too true. And a little bit of blood, I don't think that's
definitely going to be a knife or a screwdriver with a bit of red paint on it.
Yeah.
A severed doll head.
Yeah.
Photographs that kind of make you really weird photographs that make you try and put them together to make a series of events, paranoia.
Yeah.
I seen one where they enclosed a map and circled the guy's house and said, you shouldn't give people your address.
Oh.
Yeah. So be careful what you're doing out there, kids.
Yeah.
I'm 100% half of the time that these guys are just doing it themselves, but
yeah.
I thought that you had to buy stuff off the darknet with Bitcoin anyway.
Well, yeah, but that's going to be a major problem, because they're going to have to think up another idea on that, because Bitcoin will collapse. It will collapse, and pretty much in the next couple of years.
What do you know about Silk Road?
Silk Road.
Oh, well, that's for another day. I was just wondering, but that could be an up and coming episode, kids. So basically that's all I've got for today.
That strain of.
That's a bit grim. That. If you don't know, right? Protect yourselves out there. Health news. There's a super strain of. I can't believe you've got me telling this. There's a super strain STD out there. I could tell you that one. I thought two bum stories in a fortnight was a bit much, but super strain new STD on the horizon. Yes. Apparently, it's only really found in subtropical countries.
Apparently it's pretty rife in the Middle East, but
is
even
this
Americans
because of the hot weather we've been having
recently?
Recently? Is this what it is, or is it somebody been travelling and they brought it back with them?
I do know one was a 19-year-old lad, but the thing is, it's you can get rid of it with antibiotics.
Well, I actually couldn't help myself. I looked at photos of this.
Did you?
And it is disgusting, mate. When they talk about your bits falling off, this is the ultimate bits falling off disease, mate.
Yeah. You'd definitely be what you call it. I can't remember what you call them.
What?
You numb nuts.
You numb nuts?
With nothing.
A eunuch.
Eunuch.
That's it.
Yeah, you'd be definitely one of them with that shit if you don't sort it out. Oh, Jesus.
Mate,
just clang.
Just
What's
be
going
careful.
on there, clang?
Just be careful out there.
Yeah.
It's a weird world.
Yeah.
And there's weird stuff coming out every day.
There's stronger strains of different things, though, you know.
Well, they say that, don't they? But it's like they've been saying about kind of antibiotics and how we're getting immune to them.
Because we should be getting.
We use them for everything. We don't need them. What we should be doing, and this is. Do you know what? I know one listener out there is going to totally 100% agree with me on this. It's all the 99.9 sprays we're using. Yeah, because we're clean freaks, man. We're out there. We're in the house. Bit of dirt on the side. You're 99.9. Your kids aren't immune to anything anymore. Yeah, and do you know what? Right, it's 6 weeks holidays now, and I was Saturday afternoon. I was flying through the area here, and there was not one kid playing out on the street.
That's bullshit.
And it's the summer holidays, and there's not one kid out on the street.
It's raining.
Mate, not on Saturday. It was glorious.
Was it?
Yeah, it was absolutely glorious weather, right? And this is why, because the sat in the 99.9 proofed houses, right, not getting rolling around in the mud or jumping in streams or anything like that. What we used to do as kids, and they're just getting. They're getting weak. They're getting weak immune systems.
Yeah.
So when they're all like suffering from like I don't know vitamin C deficiency and the rickets in 20 years time, don't come crying to me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Well, that's it. Well, you know, it's public health. Well, it's too much public health, to be honest.
No, it's not public health. It's just it's overprotective nature of people, and it's like I understand that you know these products are available to make you know your home the most cleanliest place and safest place for your family, but you're not making it safe. You over time, if evolution's to be believe, we've only got to this point because we lived in caves and crawled on our hands and knees and got to a point where those bacteria and bugs didn't kill us, you know, and it's
same with milk.
Survival of the fittest, you know, and that's why we're here. You know, it's like if you start protecting yourself against these bugs to a point where you're gonna get you know, when it does come, like when you do get the flu, it wipes you out totally because you're not immune.
Yeah, because you haven't been.
I can't talk. I'm one of the sickest people ever.
Well, yeah, I agree with that one.
Everyone agrees with that one. I do catch everything, I suppose. Like, but yeah, right. Well, yeah. On that note, that's
I think everything.
Oh, actually, there is a bit of never a straight answer news.
Oh,
because we've been. This is like only our 4th episode, but we've been getting. Well, I say popular. We've had quite a lot of people listening.
Yeah.
I'm quite happy with the figures in terms of like starting.
Yeah, for the start up. Yeah, it's been great, man.
It's been mint, and just want to say thank you for everybody who supported so far, and like hopefully it's only going to get better.
Yeah.
Well, if you want to show your support, you can go and buy a Never a Straight Answer mug.
Yeah, or a cap.
Or a baseball cap, or a t-shirt, or a hoodie, apparently, So
I'm looking at getting a hoodie, man.
I'm getting a mug, because like, literally what I'll be sat here drinking a Never a Straight Answer brew when I'm doing these shows. It'd be great. But yeah, I think the link's available on our Anchor page.
Yeah.
We're now actually available on about 18 platforms.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so everything from iTunes to Castbox to Radio Public to Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Premium, Stitcher. We're on them all at the moment, so yeah. And
that's what we're looking for.
So yeah, hopefully it's just going to get better and better. So if you want to show your support, you can always leave us a message, or if you've got a comment, throw that in. We always love to hear from you, and we've been hearing from you. Oh yeah, I've got a bit of a silly thing just before we go.
Go on.
Yeah, right. We do have a Twitter. Yeah.
All right.
And you will be able to use the Twitter, but I did something a bit stupid.
What?
When I was filling out the Twitter information thing, I left a couple of the boxes blank, right?
Right.
And it kind of prompted me to complete my profile, right?
Right.
So whilst I was filling it in, I got to the age, date of birth bit, and it said, I didn't lie about my age. I put the first date we broadcast, right, as our date of birth.
Oh no.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Well, 2 seconds later, Twitter blocked and deactivated the account because we're under 13.
Oh no, you.
Oh yes. So 2 o'clock this morning, I'm trying to find my passport so I could send Twitter a copy of my ID to prove I was over age, so they can reactivate the account. So it's not reactivated yet, but I'm hoping it will be tomorrow. So you can catch us on there on answer_never. You can email us at neverstraightanswer@gmail.com. You can check me out at Gaz Duncan on Instagram, on Twitter, on all those other things. And you can get Taylor on absolutely nothing because he doesn't use social media.
No, not anymore.
Yeah, not anymore.
No.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's everything. So thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we'll get back for you in the next couple of days. Probably midweek, I think, because we've got a bit of a busy early on in the week.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's bank holiday, so everyone's doing the family stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, sick of hearing me talk on. So that's good night from me. I'm Gaz.
Good night from me. I'm Taylor.
Take care, guys. Peace.
Peace.
The podcast you just heard was published with Anchor. Got something you want to say to the creator of this show? Send them a voice message using the Anchor app, free for iOS and Android.